Well, hello and welcome to this edition of Be a Star TV. I'm Kimberly Ann, and today I have a very, very special guest that's near and dear to my heart. It's my son, Andrew KLASNIC, and he left home about 6 years ago almost to go out to Hollywood and try to go for his big break. So I had a couple of questions and I wanted to share it with you all for anyone who's interested in the movie or acting industry. So welcome, Andrew.
Hi.
Thanks for sitting down with me. And just real quick, let's just jump into what got you started in acting and hosting and all the things that you're doing now?
Well, growing up in a family that had a mom that liked to do stuff in the entertainment industry never hurt to see someone you look up to that you want to get into something that they're doing. So my mom was always a singer. She did acting as well, a lot of local stuff, and seeing that, Dad played sports, Mom did the entertainment, so I had the best of both worlds. I got to play sports in high school, but then I also dabbled doing theater and stuff. And my first project, I was Mr. Bear in a little play way back in the day. But then I really got into acting about 7th, 8th grade. 8th grade, really, when my teacher, Miss Ford, shout out Miss Ford, she cast me in the big play for the year. And I got to be Count Gregor in a Neil Simon play called Fools, which was really cool. It was my first big acting experience for me. I just had a blast. We got to do rehearsals and we got to just hang out with all the kids you were in class with, and we did that every day. It also got me out of running track. Not a runner, so that was probably one of the big things that got me into wanting to do that play. But then I really ended up enjoying it. Loved performing for people, making people laugh and doing all that. And then, so that was really my big start, which led me into high school acting, which led me into doing some Shakespeare and Romeo and Juliet, some Charles Dickens with A Christmas Carol. So I just got a really good theater experience and even did a couple short films with a couple local buddies who went to high school with me that got me to do my first little film work as a lead in a 5-minute short film, which was cool, and it really sparked it for me,
Yeah. So then what was the big decision to move to LA? What did you see out there, or, what just made you want to make that move as a 19-year-old who just graduated from high school?
Oh boy, yeah, that was, looking back, it was a little crazy, but, it was good. It's been a good life experience. I just think being really Romeo and Juliet, when I did that, doing Shakespeare, and really just having people being like, wow, you're really good up there, you're really natural, and really, it was really fun to watch. I really made me think maybe I could actually do this. And I've always had I was always enamored with celebrity and LA and the Hollywood and movies and stuff. Everyone is. It's just that's what Hollywood does to you. But so I did the play, and then Mom took me out to LA, and we actually visited with one of her friends from high school. Was nice enough to let us come and visit and check it out. And I fell in love with it. I was a young kid who had really bushy-tailed and bright eyes, but I was ready to go. So.
Okay, so what did you do first when you got out there? After we moved you out there, I know we just dropped him off, and it was kind of scary for us as parents too, but it's what he wanted to do. And so, yeah, we left him out there with a friend from high school, and what came next? Well,
the first thing I did was cry my eyes out. I, thought I was ready to leave home. I probably wasn't, but I was going for it. I was doing it, and so after I was done crying my eyes out for the first 24 hours I was there, and probably a few times here and there the next couple months. Yes, I'll admit it. I cry. It happens. You got to be in touch with your emotions as an actor. Right. But the first big move I made, I was lucky enough that the friend that we visited let me stay with her for a little bit, get on my feet. That just
big break.
Big, yeah. Financially, that helped, and it really helped just to be able to have somebody there to talk to, and then to be able to finally go to the first class that I went to at the Acting Corps LA, which was a 5-day-a-week program, and I wasn't working at the time, so it was really good that I can really just dive in and do it, and I could go, and they had 5 or 6 different lessons they were giving you, the business side. They're doing auditions, cold reads, all this stuff that you go out there and you think, I know all that stuff, but I'm telling you, there's always something you can learn, always something that you can do better. So that was good for me to just get in there, and I actually met one of my best friends out there in that class the first day, and we ended up shooting stuff together too. So you just never know, and with doing that class, I got comfortable, I met people, and it really got me rolling with the acting.
So what have been your biggest challenges out there? You've been out there, 5.5 years, almost 6 years. So what is the biggest challenge that you saw when you went there so far?
So there's a lot of challenges. LA is not an easy place to be in. There's a lot of people that go out there that look just like you, just like me, going for the same thing. And, so a big challenge is not only finding work. So the acting work, I'm just going to let you know, you don't just walk out there and become a star. To be a star wherever you are, you got to put some work in.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
It's definitely challenging to go out there. Especially when I was young, I thought, I'm going to go out there and kill it. I'm going to be a celebrity instantly. If you go out there with that mindset, if the only reason you want to go out there is to be a celebrity, definitely rethink it, but don't not do it. Just rethink why you would really want to do it, because if you go out there just wanting to be like a celebrity or just like wanting to be in the spotlight, like I kind of did when I was 19, it's going to be challenging because you don't just go out there and get auditions. You have to go to class, you have to get good representation, you have to get representation that wants to work with you and is ready to work for you. You have to have the right headshots. There's so many factors that go into it that you don't know when you first move out there. And so, it's the challenge is it's really just knowing what to do and knowing when to do stuff and knowing just like what your next move is. That's even as of today, 5.5, 6 years later, of just figuring out what's my next move. There's nobody just going to tell you every day, like, hey, you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to do this. You're not living at home anymore. You're out in the big leagues out there. So everyone's in competition with you. So there's not just going to be that one person that's like, yeah, let me just guide you through. There's no set blueprint becoming an actor. So that's the real big challenge, is figuring out what you do on a daily basis and what your niche is and what really is the thing you're going to focus on to get you where you need to go. You don't want to close any doors, but you also want to focus, not waste a lot of time, and just keep all your avenues open. To do hosting, you can do acting, you can do modeling, whatever you go out there, just keep working on your craft, working on your skills. And then these challenges, it's always going to be a challenge to figure out what you have to do, but if you can just keep working on yourself and meet good people and just find out what others are doing, and if you just start working and focusing and consistently doing something, you'll figure it out.
So it sounds like you really have to diversify yourself. Something you were into a lot of stage work when you were in high school, but it sounds like you're adding hosting, you're adding a bunch of different skills so that you're more well-rounded now than you were when you first went out there, so you can be ready for those things if they should come up.
Oh yeah, and like I said, I started with theater, and there's a theater game out there in LA, but theater is really hard to do in LA because it doesn't pay. And yeah, you shouldn't go out there and just think that you should get paid for everything you do. You're still at the bottom of the barrel when you first start. But it really interferes. Theater, you have to rehearse a lot, and if you're not getting paid, it's really just like you're doing it to better yourself as an actor. But it really is, in this day and age, it's digital. So a lot of the stuff you can do, like funny videos, like Instagram or Facebook Live, all that stuff. And like hosting, yeah, I didn't go out there thinking I was going to host stuff. I mean, I always thought Ryan Seacrest, Mario Lopez, all those guys were cool, but you don't know how to get in. Sometimes you don't know how to get into that stuff at first, but now I'm doing a little hosting gig with a magazine out there, an online magazine, trying to do a little modeling stuff here and there, commercial acting, theatrical by, TV and film. You just got to keep your avenues open, so.
And as far as supporting yourself, you've done a couple of things. I know that you worked in a store at one point, but what is your main thing now as far as, I know, being I don't want to call it a starving artist myself, I'm teaching, I'm doing so many different things, right, just so that I can use those resources and go ahead and, go on auditions and all that. You still have to have gas money to get to the gig, you know. So what have you been doing as far as, paying for that apartment when there are some of those droughts in the acting work? Oh
yeah. So the droughts, unfortunately, the droughts are almost as big as some of the California droughts occasionally. So you're gonna go through some peaks and valleys out there, but you can't let it get you down. But to support yourself financially, there are so many different things you can do. For myself, I worked at a grocery store for a little bit, gluten-free store. I'm not gluten-free. It's not it's not my thing, but
you learned a lot, sure.
I learned about gluten-free. Always good to learn about different things. But I worked at a grocery store. I did promo work. A good source of income for me, which was a cool learning experience too, was doing background and stand-in work on TV and film. That was pretty cool. And you get paid, if you're union, you get paid fairly good, non-union, rate's okay, but you still learn a lot. And then, so I did that for about a year and a half, and then also restaurant work. I never worked in restaurants really at all in my life, but lucked into a restaurant job, and that's usually how it happens. So lucked into a restaurant job, and that's what I've been doing for almost 2.5 years now. And if you're lucky, you can get something at night that you can audition, work on your craft during the day, and go at night a couple nights a week and support yourself and pay that rent and all those other bills.
So going back to the background work, like I know we had done a film here with Miley Cyrus in South Carolina when you were living at home. What has been like some of the coolest people that you've either stood in for or that you've done background work? Like who are some of the actors you've been able to work with in some of the films and shows?
Man, so doing background, that is one cool thing about it. If you go through, do the whole central casting, all that, get someone to call in service for you, you can get some cool gigs. I mean, I got to stand in for Dax Shepard on Parenthood. I mean, that's pretty cool. Usually when you're stand-in, they just pick you by size, look, whatever. If you look like that person size-wise, look-wise, hair-wise, whatever, you can somehow luck into doing a cool gig like that. I stood in for him on the whole entire last season of Parenthood, so that was cool. That was a huge show. And then other than that, I mean, I got to see some of my favorite actors on some of these sets. I mean, I got to see Will Ferrell the one day. Who else? I got to see like Zac Efron, LL Cool J. That's pretty cool.
That's
I mean,
awesome.
yeah. And sometimes you even like get to be in like the scenes like right there with them, and so you're learning like all this on-set lingo. You're getting paid. You're getting to see how these actors work, how their craft is, and what their process is. So that's pretty cool. And yeah, the list can go on and on of some of the people that I've seen and met. But yeah, those are some of the coolest ones.
Yeah, and you've also gotten to work for Disney and Nickelodeon and some of those featured extra parts, which is just a little bit of a bump, isn't it?
Yeah, I was fortunate enough for Disney was like a featured extra, but then Nickelodeon they bumped it up to like a under 5 co-star kind of role, so it's an IMDb credit. I got to be like on the show, work with all the leads on the show. You get paid better than background when you're that. So, and it was cool. I could put it in my reel as much as it had a line and it didn't make it past the cutting floor. Okay. But I mean, it happens. But you do get some cool experiences out of that. And that all came out of background. So
yeah, that is pretty awesome. So what are some of the recent projects that you're working on? I know you said something about hosting.
Yeah, I'm hosting for an online magazine. It's picking up some traction, which is cool. But so we do a show called Pick of the Week, which me and another girl, Jack Sherrard, we basically do picks for entertainment, music, films, TV, whatever that week is our pick. So we just did picks for like new Chris Evans movie Gifted, and for one of our rising artist buddies, J.W. Cut, his new song Boomerang. I mean. Yeah, so we pick stuff for music and entertainment, and we talk about it, do a little spiel on it, then show the clip, and that's pretty much it. It's like kind of like a mini version of the like movie channel and Entertainment Tonight kind of things.
Oh, that's cool. So yeah. What do you see yourself doing next? I mean, you're enjoying the hosting. Do you want to mainly stick with the acting, or?
So I'm definitely going to continue doing the hosting. We have a good gig going on there, and we're not sure. Like we're in a fairly beginner stage of it. I mean, the magazine's definitely picked up a lot of traction, and we've done a couple episodes of that. Just creating some short films. I got a couple short films in the works that I want to do, and I also have a new agent, so that'll be cool. And just trying to get work in as many avenues as I can.
Okay. Do you have any advice for anyone who's sitting right now in their living room thinking, oh, I just want to move out to LA or go to New York City, or I've really wanted to do this? What kind of advice would you give them?
Don't. I'm just kidding. So what I would tell you is definitely when you go out there, have a balanced life. Don't just you can engulf yourself in the work, and I mean you definitely should work hard, but definitely don't do it to the point of where you're just gonna have your head explode. Because I mean I see some of my friends that went out there was like, I am just gonna make it in this year, and they just nose to the grindstone, and sometimes not even doing the right things for their career, but just completely shutting everything else out, and that's not wise. It hurts your health, it hurts your mental state. You want to be balanced enough that where you can balance having a job so you can pay your bills, balance enough that you can go out on auditions, find that agent, go and do short films, whatever you need to do to keep building that reel. But also you still want to have a little fun. I'm not saying go party and go crazy, but I'm saying have an activity you like to do. I like to go and play ultimate frisbee with my buddies on Saturdays. That just gets that competitive release out that you know, you might not get to get out in auditions where you might be frustrated that you go into an audition and here's your one line, hello sir, and then you leave, you know, so that sometimes can be a little frustrating. So have something that can be your outlet, like working out or sports or whatever it is for you, but make sure you have that balanced life. Find something, a flexible job that can support you and also, you know, have you be able to go to auditions, and then finding a place that you like to live and people you like to live with. That's important for me. I know the first place I lived in was great. I just didn't really have my own space, and so like you get really appreciative of your own space. So now I have 3 great roommates that I live with, and we have a great spot, good rent, and so it really is nice to just have a place to come home to and relax and be able to be like, okay, let's attack it again tomorrow. So.
Well, that's awesome. Well, thanks so much for sitting down with me. I miss you being here with us, but we're super proud of you out there. And tell everybody where they can find you, Andrew, on social media and maybe a website or anything like that to keep up with what you're doing, a blog or something like that.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. You can find me, andrewklasnic.com, and then all of my social medias are the same. It's at KLASACT. That's KLAZZACT. Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, and then the Facebook is Andrew KLASNIC for the fan page. So yeah, go and check me out.
Well, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Good having you.
All right.
Thanks, and stay tuned for our next video and have it be a star wherever you are, and we will come back with someone else great as well. Thanks.
Woo!
I might cut that.
It's all good.